ReefBum is sponsored by Bulk Reef Supply and Ecotech Marine. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. So in this video I want to go over the final phase of my big tank reboot project. But before I do that, if you want to help support the channel and pick up some SPS frags, please visit reefbum.com. And with that, let's get into the video. All right, I am so relieved that this project is over because I was definitely stressing out. This was a 6-month project. It was a really long project, but I took a lot of time planning it out, and I wanted to take it really slowly because, hey, you know, it was a beautiful established SPS dominant reef tank, and I've never done anything like this before. I've never taken a mature tank and completely turned it upside down in terms of removing all the coral and removing all the rock. So it was complicated because my big fear was upsetting the bacterial bed that was established in this tank, especially with the live rock. But that's why I employed this cryptic sump, because I really wanted to retain as much of the bacteria population as possible on the Haitian live rock that I was pulling out of this tank. And I pulled out about, I don't know, 110 pounds of the Haitian live rock, and I put it into the cryptic sump. So yeah, the last phase of this project was similar to the prior phase. You know, the initial phase was when I pulled out the right side of the reef in terms of the rock and all the coral that was encrusted on it. So this the second phase was when I did the left side of the tank. And you know, again, like in the first phase, there was a lot of calcified sand in the bottom of the tank. This was a little tougher to remove, so I had to really go out a little bit longer with my makeshift scraper underneath, kind of like prying up the calcified sand on the bottom of the tank. I was really afraid that I was gonna somehow you know, pop a seam or you know, rip some of the silicone while I was doing that, but luckily it did eventually all come out nice and clean. So the sand in the tank is looking good. I mean, you know, I could probably potentially add some more sand to fill in some of the there's a couple of bare spots now on that bottom of the tank. But listen, it's the tank is looking clean. It's like a brand new tank, you know. It's looking clean. I love the open aquascape. It's going to be awesome, you know, for the frags I plan to plant in the tank in terms of the SPS frags. I've got a lot of LPS in there. I've got this beautiful me coral that was just, you know, kind of hidden under a ledge, not really highlighted in the prior tank. The Goniapora, the Alveopora are huge, really big. They're filling up some space right now, but I don't know, I might have to kind of cut back or at least frag them up pretty well and kind of create some more room for the SPS, because I want this to be an SPS dominant tank. So I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna take 2 months before I start planting frags, because who knows, there might be some ugly phases that pop up into this tank. So far so good. It's been about a week and a half, and I'm getting maybe like a little, I think, what's some green cyano on the rock, but that kind of blows off pretty easily with a power head. So it's just, you know, I don't want to rush into it. I've got time. Why rush into it? So I will continue to monitor the situation. You know, the other thing I did with this tank is that I only had like maybe 12 or 13 fish. I didn't realize how few fish I had because I had just so many corals in this tank. So what I did was I picked up 5 green chromis, and then a couple weeks later I picked up, I think it's 6 of the lyre-tail anthias. I love the schooling fish. I love the green chromis and the anthias. So cool. So they're kind of filling up some space. Yeah, so I think, you know, the other thing I'll point out, I had a persistent problem with some cyano. It wasn't bad, you know, it wasn't a huge cyano problem, but I had a lot of cyano on the calcified parts of that sand bed, also in some of the rock work, some of the Haitian live rock. So, you know, knock on wood, so far I haven't seen that cyano, and I think it's, you know, a couple things. I think the improved flow in the tank is going to help. There's not going to be a lot of places to, you know, for the detritus to settle. The fish are digging it in terms of there's plenty of swim throughs. So it's just a lot more open, and I think that's just going to help on a whole bunch of fronts. But yeah, I mean, the more I thought about it in terms of what I was pulling out of that tank, it was just, you know, a couple of big, thick islands of rock and coral. And there was no way that water was really circulating throughout all the parts of that reef that it should have been. So just, you know, just that observation alone, I think this is going to be a major improvement. And yeah, 6 months has been a long project. The cryptic sump is working out perfectly. It fit all the rock, and yeah, so I couldn't be happier on that front. So it's so far so good. Let's just put it that way in terms of the summary of the project. But I will certainly keep everybody up to date and posted on the progress, especially when I start planting frags in this tank. So that'll do it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Until next time, be well and be safe. Later.